Right, as you can see, I've got a nice, glorious, big load of wood chip delivered in my driveway. It's literally, looks like a pile of gold, doesn't it? Shining in the driveway, and it literally is like gold dust for the food foresters. This is the secret to having a hands-off productive food forest, and how I've been able to just basically eliminate all the jobs that you see in a common garden. I don't water, I don't fertilise, I very rarely weed, and I build amazing soil for free with nature breaking this down over time. And I do have to give credit to Paul Gauci from Back to Eden Garden, because he was the man who initially inspired me many years ago on using wood chip in the garden. And yeah, definitely check him out on YouTube. He's got a lot of videos, tours of his food forest, because it is pretty incredible. Today I want to talk about what wood chip to get, how to get it, where to get it from, and all the other little tips and tricks that I've learned along the years of getting wood chip for use in the garden. So let's get into the video. Right, so let's start with what wood chip to get, because it's very simple when you know what to look for. But what have I got here? What I'm going to be using? You can see this wood chip. It's a conifer tree, but you'll be able to see straight away that it's the whole tree chipped up. It's got the fern, the leaves, the bark, the little twigs, all of it in one big pile. And that is very important. You want to hold the whole tree chipped up, because it's going to break down much better, provide a much better covering of mulch for the garden, so that it really does improve the garden faster, rather than something like, say if you had a wood chip pile that was just full of, that's exceptionally big, but full of stuff like that, that would take forever to break down, which would obviously slow the progression of your food forest, and it just won't build soil anywhere near as good as something like that. So that's the first thing you need to think about when you're getting wood chip. Second is it chemical free? I mean, there's no certainty about this because it's quite a vague one. When you're getting wood chip from tree surgeons, obviously they don't know the whole life of the tree, but you can, I like to say, interrogate the tree surgeon before they deliver. Just say this is for use on an organic garden, and they'll know if you're asking if it's chemical free. You want to try and find the origins, what the tree is, where it's been. Like, this is a conifer tree, it wasn't on a roadside, it didn't have pollution on it, it's likely not to be sprayed with chemicals, so it's good for use in the garden. But yeah, that's just a little thing, chemical free, very important. Also, just something interesting as well, secondary point, the smell off this is unbelievable. You wouldn't believe how good it smells. I feel like I might just leave it in the driveway longer, because every time I walk out the front door, I'm going to smell it in the background. It's so nice, and also, but you might be able to see it now. If I dig down, the steam coming off it is just unbelievable. It's constantly steaming, that's the compost heat. It breaking down slowly, and if I dig down like that, pull some out, see it steaming a little bit, but that is so warm. It's hot in my hands, and that's the compost heat. It's slowly starting to break down, and you can imagine how good that's going to be for your garden when you start layering it on. So yeah, the wood chip itself, it's very important you get the whole tree. And again, I don't avoid any kind of tree. A lot of people say to avoid pine and walnut because it's very high in acidic levels, but I've used them trees fine in my garden. I've not used every kind of tree, but the ones the tree surgeon offers me, I just take everything, because by the time it's broken down, to start building soil and decomposing, all them acidic, components, elements to the tree, like the pine needles, it's broken down in the decomposition process, and by the time it gets to the soil, it doesn't have a negative effect. Right, so where do you get it and how do you get it? Do you have to pay for it? Is it free? Well, really, it's a very simple thing to get your hands on, because believe it or not, wood chip is a waste product of the tree surgeons industry. It's pretty amazing calling it a waste product, considering how valuable it is to me. But anyway, that's the way the world is nowadays. They don't value the stuff that actually is valuable. So what you do is you can contact your local tree surgeon, go on Google, search for local tree surgeons in your area, give them a call, send them a text, send them an email, however you want to get in touch with them. Even if you see a wood chip man, that's what you call a wood chip man, a tree surgeon with a van load of wood chips, it's on the road, parked up somewhere, just ask them, can I have that wood chip dumped in my driveway? Because they are looking for someone to tip it. That's literally their job. They cut trees down and then discard it as a waste product. So if they don't dump it in your driveway, they're going to dump it somewhere else, which is not good in my case. I want as much of it as I can on my garden. In fact, I actually know there is actually a place about 10 miles away from here where all the local tree surgeons just discard all their their wood chip into this one massive pile, and it's like a gold mine that's just untapped. The only thing is, it's quite difficult to get it from there to here without having the equipment like a big van. So that's why I like them I'd send them a text, tell them to dump it in my drive when it's convenient for them. And if it is really convenient for them, like it's on their route, they'll just drop it off for free. Like sometimes they charge £10–20 depending on petrol cost, how inconvenient if they want to charge for it. But yeah, it can be free a lot of the time. And that's compared to if you were going to buy it straight from a company online, which I would never recommend doing, because one, it's very expensive, and usually it's a lot worse in quality. You know, when you buy a big ton bag of the same graded size wood chips. Cut that out and go straight to the tree surgeon and just ask them to tip it when it's convenient for them. If you're not quite confident enough to give a tree surgeon a call, then there's also a really good website called Arbtalk, ARB Talk. I think in America it's called Chip Drop, it's the equivalent. And basically it's like a place where you add your tip site to a map. And it's like you pinpoint your address, and then you say you're open to getting wood chip tipped at it's like a tip site. And basically, tree surgeons, when they're looking to dump their wood chip, they'll go on that directory and give you a call based if you're local to where they're currently working. So it's like a place of advertising to tree surgeons that you want wood chip dumping in your driveway. And there's also the common question I get asked, and it's brought up quite a lot about, are you supporting the deforestation or tree felling by taking wood chips off tree surgeons? And it's quite the opposite when you think about it, because tree surgeons are going to cut down these trees regardless if you demand their wood chips or not. They're not cutting down trees specifically for the wood chip. Say if I was to ask them to cut down this tree for use in a wood chip, for the wood chip, for use in my garden, that would be terrible. But it's not like that, it's reverse. We're actually taking the waste product that they're going to discard anyway. So it's, in a way, it's like repurposing all the trees they're currently cutting down, putting it into all the growers' hands to plant and grow more food and more trees. So it's actually a really positive effect you can have by using the wood chips. And like I said, don't feel like you're doing them a disservice or you're causing a problem by asking for the wood chip, because it's actually a favour to offer a tip site to the tree surgeon that's handy to them. So now you've got the problem where you've got a massive pile of glorious wood chips sitting in your driveway, but you don't know how to use it. I'm going to leave this for about a week or two and just let it decompose a little bit more, so I'm not putting directly fresh wood chips onto the patch or onto bare soil, because that can rob the nitrogen from the soil and cause the plants to go a little bit yellow. It takes the green out of the leaves. But then again, because I do it so infrequently, I only do this job probably once a year, just as we're heading into winter, I don't have to be as active with it. As in, like, I don't have to care too much about it, because by the time it comes to spring, when I'm actually looking to grow food, a lot of that, the fresh wood chip is already broken down partially, so that it's not going to cause any problems to the nitrogen levels in the soil. And also because I'm putting this wood chip on current wood chip, again, it's not getting disturbed, it's not touching bare soil, and it's just going to naturally layer on top like in nature, where all the leaves fall off the trees and create a natural covering in the winter. So that's why I like to do it in the just before we're heading into winter, so by the time it comes to spring the next year, the garden's just ready to explode with life again. And I always do leave it in the driveway. If I was putting this on in spring, I would leave it longer to let it decompose more before I put it on the garden. Like I said, because it's winter, I don't have to be too bothered about that, because it's going to have time in the garden already. This, by the way, I'm going to put on some areas where it's already decomposed fully, so there's actually a bit of bare soil coming through. Or if there's areas where weeds are starting to grow through, I'll just smother it a bit more with wood chip, add a new layer. Or areas I'm looking to expand and plant more fruit trees, that's where I'll add a new layer of this to start the process, add the covering, and slowly start to build soil over time. So I think that's a nice place to round it off. Like, there's not much you can do wrong when it comes to sourcing wood chips, but it's a very simple process once you know what to look for and how to get it. And I will be adding this to the garden now in winter. Like I said, it's quite an infrequent job, but it's a nice job to do just as we're heading to winter for the following spring. And that is really all there is to it. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments, because I'll do my best to answer them in future videos or answer your comments directly. As always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you like and subscribe to help my videos pushed out to more and more people, so that hopefully they can join the movement of growing food as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one.